Okay, hello. Hi guys. Good evening. This is our December week one. Right, what is up, guys? Welcome. Happy Thursday to y'all. Oh yeah, by the way, before I begin, hi Rebecca, how are you? Before I begin, right? Let me announce something. Hello, Chen. So this is your week one class. Next week is your week two, right, as usual. And then the following week, which is the week 3 week, you are going to attend two classes, okay, which is week 3 and week 4. It will be together. Okay, that means, okay, the schedule is not out yet. There are chances that you won't attend my class. That means you will attend my week 3 class and you will attend maybe another teacher's week 4. Because we need to put 2 weeks into 1 week, because the last 2 weeks of December is going to be a holiday, right? So it will be quite hectic lah. So the next week it will be a bit hectic because you'll be attending 2 hours of classes, not in one shot. If you can make it, then you can do both. If you cannot make it, then you will take video requests, right? If you get what I'm trying to say here. So because we're preparing for your holiday, right? So make sure you track the schedule. It will be posted soon, and please make sure you study. Your finals are coming soon. Right, speaking of finals, let's go into our exercise today. We are using your December material today. Your December material, if you have it with you. We are jumping straight into page 33. Okay, page 32, 33, which is the energy one. Oh, you haven't received, Melvin, why you haven't? Why is it so late one? You should have received it like 1 or 2 weeks ago. You requested late, is it? You requested late, is it? If you don't have it, right? Fortunately for you, today is calculation mostly. So you won't miss much, I guess. Okay. Or you requested 2 days ago. No wonder lah. You should have requested like last week. Okay, anyway, so just look at my screen lah, if you don't have the notes, and get a piece of paper, write the answers down. All right, because today's stuff is, by the way, what are we doing today? We are doing energy and power. If you remember this chapter, it's mostly calculation. How do we calculate work done? How do we calculate power? Okay, things like that. Right, so let's look at number 1. So mark for the activities which shows work done, right? If you still remember what is work done? Work done means force times displacement. You guys remember this? You guys remember this? If I use force, okay, let's say this is an object. Okay, let's say this is an object. I use force and I move an object from here to here. There's force and then there's displacement because this thing move, right? So as long as I use force and the thing move, this is work done, right? This is work done. So number 1, is this work done? The ball moved. So yes, it is work done because the ball moved. And then the next one, is this work done? If he is strong enough to move the wall, then maybe, but chances are the wall won't move. So this is not work done because the wall did not move. So there's 0 displacement. So anything times 0 is 0. So the work done is 0. Okay, next. Your 3 leaves, they move. So this is work done also. So there's 2 work done here. Right? So I need something moving. If there's nothing moving, then there will not be any work done. Simple. Right, next. State the type of energy involved in the following situation with the given words. So if you remember, this chapter, we focus mainly on 3 energy. We focus on gravitational potential energy, or in short, I call it GPE. We focus on kinetic energy. In short, I call it KE. And we focus on elastic potential energy. In short, I call it EPE. All right, I hope you still remember this. So GPE is when I move to a higher ground, I have GPE. I am fighting gravity, so I do gravity. I have GPE. And then KE is when I move, I have speed. Remember this? I have velocity. As long as I'm moving, I have KE. And then elastic potential energy, EPE, as the name says, when I stretch something elastic, then I would get EPE. Okay, so I hope you guys remember this. So the first one, you take your bicycle up to higher ground. Obviously, this is your GPE. Okay, or TKG if you're doing it in BM, tenaga keupayaan gravity. And then the next one, this is your EPE or TKK or TKE lah, in short. Right? Let me ask you something. What's the formula? What are the formulas? Do you guys remember? What's the formula for GPE? Anyone? Yes, MGH, very good. Thank you, Melvin. And then what about KE? What about KE? Hey guys, we learned this a few months ago. Not even a few months, like what? Few 1 or 2 months ago. Close. It's 1/2 mv square. Mv square. M is your mass, v is your velocity. Right? What about EPE? What about EPE? Yes, that's correct. That's your 1/2 fx. Wow, really good, Melvin. That's good. That's really good. So, don't forget this, guys. Let me tell you something. Next year, when you go physics, you'll be using the exact same formulas. Exact same. So you can't run away. Right? So, don't think you can forget this. So number 2, so is there any work done? So same thing, there's no work done here. Okay, work is done here, work is done here. So 2 and 3. Okay, next. B, match the quantity below with the correct SI unit. Right, so what's the unit for power? Do you remember this? And what's the unit for work? Do you remember this? So your power should be watt. Okay, your power should be watt. Yes, thank you. Rebecca, are you fine? Are you okay? Is it raining? That's why your internet is not good, or is it my problem? Okay, so work is your joule. All right. So what is the relationship between power and work? I hope you still remember this. Power equals to work done divided by time. Right? When you move something, it's called work done. When you move it quickly, how fast do you move it? That's your power. Right? It's like this lah. I think I told you this before. Let's say you want to drive from 0 to 100. Remember? You want to drive from 0 to 100. A Myvi can do it. A Lamborghini can do it. Both can go from 0 to 100. So why is a Lamborghini so damn expensive? Because they do it in a much shorter time. So when you have shorter time, you have higher power. Right? This is all guys talk about when it comes to cars. Oh, how much horsepower? How many horsepower does your car have? Right? Horsepower. This is everything we talk about. I mean, if you look at guys, when they buy cars, they will just say, oh, what's the torque? What's the horsepower? How fast does it go from 0 to 100? Okay, specs lah. Okay, the nerdy specs. So we just look at it. Right? So if you do something in a very short time, you will have very high power. So same goes to sports. How can you run 100 meters faster? You need to have higher power. How do you have higher power? You get more muscle. You increase your muscle, right? If you look at most sports, sports that require time, What do I mean? That means sports about how fast they achieve something. Okay, like badminton is about rivalry. Okay, it's about getting points. It's not time-based. But 100 meters, 200 meters, 400 meters, you know, marathons, cycling, sports like that, they are fighting against time. So to have shorter time, you need to have higher power. So how do you have higher power? You gain muscle, right? As an athlete, you should have enough muscle to give you the amount of power you need to win, right? So anyway, circle the quantities needed to calculate the value of work done. So as we said just now, work done is force times displacement. Force times displacement. Dyer and Sasarat. Okay, we said it at the earlier the beginning of this chapter. Okay, beginning of just now. So B, underline the correct answer about power. Power is the what at which work is done. So whenever you divide by time, we don't use time, we use rate. Whenever you divide by time, we use the word rate, right? So rate which the work is done. That's why it's W divided by T. Same goes to your maths lah. You know speed, right? In maths, you learn speed equals to distance divided by time, right? You learn this, right? So what is speed equals to distance divided by time? So how do you define speed? Next year in physics, you'll do this a lot. How do you define speed? Speed is the rate of change of distance. Can you see? Rate of change of distance. When you divide by time, you have to use the word rate. It's the key word. So rate, we call it kada in BM. Kada. And then number two, power increases if what time is taken to do a work. So how do you increase power? Like I said, you decrease the time. Right? You decrease the time. The more explosiveness, the more power you can give out, you are going to go faster. Right? It's like car, like I said. A Lamborghini has a bigger engine. It's like a bigger muscle, so they can go faster. A Myvi has a smaller engine, a smaller muscle, that's why they have no such power. You get what I'm trying to say here? So you need power to do something quickly. Like a sprinter, yes, basically like a sprinter. Yeah, I think I showed you this before, guys. Sprinter versus marathoner. You look at their body size, you will know lah. You see? Sprinters, they are very muscular because it's all about the explosiveness. Marathoners, no, because they run long distance, right? They run like 30, 40 kilometers. There is no need to have so much muscle, right? It's about endurance. So it's a very different game. That's why you look at most sports that require, yeah, marathons have slow twitch. I think I told you guys this, right? Yes, marathons have slow twitch muscle. Okay, so it's a different beast lah. It's a different thing. So if you want to look at explosiveness, okay, who has high power in Olympic? You can look at cyclists. Okay, cyclists, sprint cyclists are not the long distance cyclists. You look at sprint cycling, you will know. Sprint cyclists, you look at their legs, you will know. This is the long distance one. You look at those short distance one, they should have very muscular legs because it's about explosive. Yes, Quadzilla. Wow, you guys lift weights, right? So you need that quads to run, and not to mention your gymnast. Okay, male gymnast, you will know lah, because gymnast is about, you know, explosiveness. You look at the muscles, you know lah. Okay, because you need that explosiveness. So how do you get explosiveness? You need muscles, right? So that's why they look like that. Okay, if it makes any sense, right? So anyway, number 4, true or false for the following statement? The GPE of a landing plane decrease. Does it decrease? Yes, it does. So true. Next year when you go physics, they will ask you why. Why does GPE decrease as your plane lands? Because according to formula, GPE equals to mgh. As height decrease, GPE decrease. Everything in physics, you have to explain using formulas. So you need formula. Everything in physics can be explained by formula. So you need to present your formula. So number 2, the GPE decrease as bus driver push the brake. When you step on the brake, does GPE decrease? Not really, right? Okay, because I'm not becoming, closer to the ground. So this is false. So what decrease? I have this question here. What decrease? Since this is wrong. When I step on the brake, what is decreasing? What energy is decreasing? Anyone? Yes, that's your KE. Okay, that's your KE. Your KE decreases. And where has that KE gone? Do you remember what I said about the principle of conservation of energy? Energy cannot be created. Energy cannot be destroyed. Energy can only be converted. So you see, when my KE decrease, where has it gone? Okay, did I destroy the KE when I step on the brake? No, I don't. Okay, where is it lost to? Where is it lost to? Yep. So what energy is that? What energy does it change to? When you touch your tire, when you touch your brake, what do you feel? What do you feel? What energy is that? Yes, that's friction. Friction creates what energy? When you touch your brake, how does it feel? It feels hot. Yes, that's your heat energy. That's your heat energy. So if your car has 100 KE and you stop your car, all the 100 KE will be changed into heat. Maybe some will change to sound because when you brake, the sound, right? But most of it change to heat. That's why after you brake your car, after you step on the brake, you touch your tire and you touch your brakes, it should feel hot. Okay, you should feel. If you don't step on it strong enough, maybe it feels warm, but if it feels hot, that means you have been driving very aggressively. So B, kinetic energy is the energy possessed by a moving object. So what influences kinetic energy? So according to our formula, KE equals to 1/2 mv squared. So your KE is affected by your mass and is affected by your speed. The higher the mass, the higher the KE. The higher the speed, the higher the KE. Right? It's like bullet guys. It's like bullet The faster your bullet flies, the more KE it has. Right? And they need to reach a certain KE, only they can penetrate your skin. You get what I mean? A bullet's objective is to puncture your skin, right? So they need to be a certain kinetic energy to do so. So with enough energy, you can die. That's what happens in a car crash. When you crash your car, when there's too much energy, that's how you die. Right? So next, number 5. So this is a rebound of a ball. So it goes like this. Okay, so as this goes on, this will go like that. Okay, so write the position of the ball which only possess the following energy. So where can you find the most GPE? It would be at the highest plane. So that would be your A. And which place has the highest KE? Which place has the highest speed? That would be your C. Right? That would be your C. So I have a question here. Why does this ball not bound like this? Why does it not just keep bouncing? What is this? What is this concept here? Why does it slow down? Why does this thing become slower and slower? Why does it become slower and slower? You can say it's gravity, but the main thing is energy is, yes, energy is converted. Yes, that's good. Okay, so energy is lost every time it hits the ground, right? I mean, this only happens, like I said a few months ago when we learned this chapter, this is what we call a perfect world. A perfect world. A perfect world is when energy will not be lost. Energy will forever be conserved. Right? Right? This is in a perfect world. Okay, a perfect world is when energy is not lost and your crush likes you back. Remember I said that? Remember I said that? So this is the real world. Your crush most likely won't like you back. Oof. Right? So it doesn't happen. Okay, this thing doesn't happen. I mean, if this thing happens, you might need to call a priest because your house might be haunted, right? Because energy will be lost. If the energy is not lost, someone is giving it extra energy, which could be some unknown entity that might or might not present in your house. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, so B, underline the correct answer. So the rebound of the ball in diagram 2 is in a closed or open system. Okay, is this a closed or an open system? Is this a closed or an open system? Okay, closed system is when no energy is lost, right? But since this energy is lost, right? Since this energy is lost, right? So this is an open system. Right, because energy is lost. Closed system is when we assume the energy is still there, right? So number 2, the total gravitational potential energy, total GP and KE is in the bouncing system is not constant. Okay, not constant, because I start from 100 here, 100 GPE here. When I reach the ground, this might be 90 KE. And as I bounce back up, maybe this becomes 80 GPE. I see the energy will be lost. So it will be slower. This happens, right? This happens. In the real world, you always have energy loss. That's just a given. Right? So number 6, write true or false for the following statement. Number 1, the principle of conservation of energy states that energy can be converted from one form to the other form. Yes, this is true. Energy can always be converted. And then number 2, the principle of conservation of energy states that energy can be created. Can you create energy? No, you can't. Right? You can't create energy. Yes, Zihui, hello. We are in the December notes. Okay, you're a bit late. We are in page 35. Right? So you cannot create energy. It's just, okay, if you can create energy, then there's no need for you to eat. Right? You can just catch energy out of thin air. Your body needs energy to run, right? Your body needs energy to function. If your body can just create energy, then what's the point of you eating? You can just create some more. It's like you can't create money. You can only earn money from somewhere. You can't just create money. Right? Printing money doesn't count. The more money you print, yes, that's inflation. The more money you print, you're just going to make money less worthy. But at the end, the value is still the same. This is economy, right? Wow, Yashwini, you are quite, you know about economy. Okay, that's quite surprising. Okay, because you said inflation. Wow, surprise. Okay, so B. So this is a pendulum in a closed system. Okay, this is a closed system. So closed system means there's no energy loss lah. There's no energy loss. That means I have GPE here. And as I swing down, I get KE. And then as I swing back up, I get GPE again. And this thing will repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. GPE, KE, KE, GPE, GPE, KE. Change and change and change. So we look at your P to Q. So what happens to P to Q? From P to Q, your GPE converts to KE. So GPE converts to KE. Okay, and then QR, but this is the other way around. This converts from KE to GPE, or your TK to TKG. So RQ, this is the other way lah, same thing lah. GPE to KE, GPE to KE, and then QP, this is KE to GPE. Right, so this thing goes on and on and on. Right, next, number 7. Write true or false for the following statement based on the principle of conservation of energy. So number 1, energy will always be decreased and eventually be run out when used. Energy will not decrease. The total energy always stays the same. So this is false. Energy will not run out. Energy just converts to other form. So number 2, when you climb a mountain, you will increase the potential energy. Yes, you do. Because you increase the GPE as you climb higher. Right, next, B, mark on the correct principle of conservation of energy. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Yes, you can't destroy energy or you cannot create energy. Remember the diet thing I told you? If this is you need 2,000 calories to survive. You need 2,000 calories to survive. If you eat 2,000, you are going to stay the same way, right? Because you're not eating extra, you're not eating less. But let's just say you are eating less. You're eating 500 per day. That's 1,500 lacking, right? Your body is lacking 1,500 energy. Your body cannot just take this out of thin air and create energy. No, you can't. Energy cannot be created. So it has to come from somewhere. So where does it come from? It comes from your fats. Okay, underneath your skin, that's the fats. And the other way around, if you are eating, say, 4,000, you're eating 4,000. So you have an extra 2,000. Right? You have an extra 2,000. Yes, bulking. Melvin, by any chance, do you hit the gym? Because you know all the terms. Right. So yes, we call it bulking. I don't like the word bulking because it's just an excuse to get fat. Right. So 2,000, you get an extra 2,000. So you cannot destroy energy. So you store your energy. You store your energy underneath your skin. So you get fat. Right. So by any chance, Melvin, what are your lifts? What are your lifts? Do you do weightlifting or do you do bodybuilding? Wow, we can hit the gym sometime. Oh, you do weightlifting. So what are your big 3 numbers? What are your big 3 numbers? So number 2, energy cannot be converted from one form to the other. Of course, no, you can convert. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. What's your body weight though? What's your body weight though? Because I usually compare it to body weight. Oh, 70. Okay. Not bad. That's not bad. Body weight slightly more than body weight deadlift. Okay, keep going. I mean you can bulk lah, but just don't get fat lah. You can just don't get fat because later when you cut, it's gonna be hell. Ask me how I know. Right? I've been through more bulking than I care to admit. Right? Yeah, I used to be fat lah, okay, but it's just not cool. Right, anyway, so number 3, amount of energy before the conversion is the same as the amount of energy after conversion. Yes, it should stay the same. Okay, that means you have 100 GPE here, you should have 100 KE here, and then 100 GPE again, 100 KE again. So this thing goes on and on. Right, so for those who are going to lose weight, just figure out how much energy do you need per day. You might say, sir, how can I know how much energy I need per day? Very easy. Just track what you eat every day for 1 week. Try to eat the same amount of calorie or food I know it's hard lah, but you try to, you keep it the same for 1 week. If your weight doesn't change, that is what we call your maintenance calorie. If you eat 2005 for 1 whole week and you did not gain a single pound, you are not changing anything, your weight is not changing, 2005 is what you need. Right? Right? So like for me, I eat 3000. I eat a lot because I lift a lot of weights and I run a lot. So the more active you are, you see, I need energy to do more exercise. So can you see, I can't create energy. I cannot just eat 2000 and do the same amount of exercise. I can't function this way. I need extra fuel. It's like your car. If you're traveling somewhere far, you need to put extra fuel in your car, right? Extra fuel so that your car can go, further, which is the same thing, right? Anyway, so moving on, let's go to number 8. So diagram 3 shows Raman and Subramaniam moving loads from the floor to the table, right? So Raman is moving a 5 kg box, Subra is moving an 8.5 kg box. So Subra is, carrying heavy stuff here. So calculate the work done by them. So again, work done is force times displacement. So you might say, sir, there's no force here. You change this to force lah. So 5 kg is 50 Newton. 8.5 kg is 85 Newton. So for Raman, he used 50 Newton force to lift this thing above 0.8 meter. So the formula would be 50 times 0.8. Okay, force times displacement. So you will get 40 joule. The answer of work done is joule. Right? You might say, hey, sir, I thought just now you said calorie. Calorie is another unit lah, which is the same. I mean, if I think I told you this before, if you look at your Gardenia bread food labeling, they list the thing in 2 units. Okay, they list it in joule, then they list it in calories. You just have to times 4.2. Okay, calorie times 4.2 equals to your joule. Right, so Subra, how much is he using? So 8.85 Newton. Okay, and he moved this thing 0.8. So this would be 8 times 8, 64 times 5, 40. So you get 68 joule. Okay, 68 joule. Okay, you guys are okay, make sure you understand this, guys, this is like free marks for you. Okay, so next, compare the work done by both of them. So who is doing more work? Well, Raman is doing more work. Oh, sorry, Subra is doing more work. Subra is doing more work than Raman. Please don't write like this in exam lah. Please write the full sentence. Subramaniam is doing more. Subramaniam does more work compared to Raman. So according to this concept, Subra should lose more weight, right? I mean, if they decide to lift this box as a form of cardio lah, they're trying to lose weight. So Subra will end up losing more because Subra is doing more work. Right? So right. Again, about fitness thing, you might say, sir, how do I lose weight? How do I have that six-pack thing? Right. First of all, let me tell you something. Six-pack is built in the kitchen. Okay, six-packs, they are gained in the kitchen. Right? You first need to control your diet. I mean, if you don't eat shit tons amount of food, then you wouldn't need to burn shit tons of calories. Yes, the calorie deficit, yes. Okay, you just need to be in deficit. Just eat less than what you need. Very simple. Right? So how do you be in a caloric deficit? You either you move more or you eat less. Yes, exactly. Right? So in terms of cardio, or just a quiet eating disorder. Well, Yeah, Srini, that technically works, but you wouldn't be living very long lah. But hey, that six pack though, right? Anyway, so okay, in terms of cardio, how should you lose more weight? You can either increase the force, which you can't unless you carry your little brother and you run, or you can just increase your displacement. How do you increase your displacement? Just run further lah. Instead of running 5 kilometers, run 6, run 7. The more you run, the more you burn. Common sense, right? Common sense, right? Lift things up and put them down. Yes. By any chance, do you guys watch Coach Greg? Because I just have the vibe that you guys do. I see. No wonder. No wonder. Okay, he's awesome. Right. Anyway, so just make sure you run more lah. Okay, make sure you run more. But there's no use of you running more if you're gonna eat back everything later. You see, some people I really cannot understand. They will put on Insta story and say, oh, today I went to the park and I ran 3 kilometers. Okay, that's good. But hey, since I exercise so hard, right? Let's reward myself with a plate of nasi lemak. Dude, you run 3 kilometers, at most you're gonna burn 200. Okay, ask me, I know. Unless you run extra hard lah, you are like sprinting throughout that 3 kilometers, then maybe you burn 300. Okay, a plate of nasi lemak will be 600 to 700. So what's the point, right? To burn that 200 calories, you reward yourself by eating that 600-700. That's why you're still fat, right? I'm sorry to be so straightforward, but you need to put the fork down. Anyway, so by this logic, Subra should lose more weight lah, because he's doing more work. Okay, he's doing more work. Anyway, so Rahman took 2 seconds to move his load, while Subra took 5 seconds. So calculate the power. So Rahman, he did 40 joule of work, but he did it in 2 seconds. So he did 20 watt of power. Whereas Subra, although he did more work, but he did it in 5 seconds. So what's this? Can someone calculate this for me? Can someone calculate this for me? 68 divided by 5, what do you get? Sorry, I don't have my calculator here. Anyone? 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 What's the answer here? Hello? Hey, I'm waiting lah. What's the answer here? It should be 12 or 13 point something, I guess. Okay, 13%. Yes, thank you, Gabriel. Thank you. Okay, Gabriel, have I seen you before? Were you here last week? Were you here last week? Are you a new student by any chance? Oh, okay. Are you a new student by any chance? Because I've not seen you before, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, thanks for the answer, by the way. Okay, anyway, so 20 watt and 13 watt. Okay, so what does this number tells us? This number tells us, oh, okay. Whose class are you from, by the way? So by this figure, what is this telling us? This tells us that Rahman is doing more effort. Rahman should feel more tired. I mean, although 20 is like nothing lah, but he should feel more tired. By right lah. So guys, how tired you feel, sometimes it's not about the work you've done, it's about how fast you do it. Right? It's about how fast you do it. Okay, put it this way, if I ask you to walk 100 meters, that would be like nothing. Right? I mean, 100 meters is not a very long distance. If I ask you to walk 100 meters, you feel okay. But if I ask you to sprint, let's say you got chased by a dog, you need to sprint for 100 meters, that is something. That is something. It will make you out of breath, and you will just feel, if you're a couch potato, if you don't exercise, after sprint, your lungs should feel like they're on fire. Right? Guys, a quick telltale sign that you're a couch potato, you're basically a potato, it hurts when you run, right? Your lungs, they hurt. Your stomach here, which is the abdomen here, it hurts because of the buildup of lactic acid. If it's like that, then might I suggest you exercise more because you're not very physically fit, right? I have people who tell me that I just like to be my way. If I want to be fat, I want to be, if I'm fat, then I just want to be fat lah. What's the problem? Guys, I am all for body positivity. You want to be whatever you want. If you inspire to be a girl with big fat ass, I'm okay. You know, body positivity. You should love yourself no matter what. But shouldn't you love yourself enough that you want to do something about it to make it better? Right? Yes, yes. Okay, so make sure you befriend someone fat because when there's zombie apocalypse, he's gonna save your ass. Shit, I'm going to hell for saying this, but oh well. Right. Anyway, so sometimes guys, this body positivity thing I'm a bit annoyed by these things lah, right? You know, those Karens they will say, oh, I'm proud of my body. Okay, I am 150 kilos, I'm morbidly obese, I need to be pushed around with wheelchair, but I'm proud of myself. Body positivity, yay me. Are you really proud though? I mean, come on, don't lie, right? So I seriously don't understand lah. You see, sometimes people flaunt their body on Instagram, and you say, oh, why are they showing off? Well, because they work freaking hard on it, right? And they're proud of their own work. Is there anything wrong? No, right? Why is body positivity always about fat people showing off? Why can it not be, you know, fit people showing off? Can you see the hypocrisy there? Right? That's why all these social justice warrior, I sometimes really cannot tahan. The double standard is shocking, right? Anyway, so Rahman should be doing more. So by this logic, Rahman should be more jacked. Rahman should be more muscular because he's doing more. He has more power. I mean, this is nothing lah. 21 is nothing. Do you know how much Usain Bolt gives out? I think I showed you guys this last time, right? Okay, Usain Bolt. Okay, so this is his record lah. Okay, Usain Bolt is 2,165 watt. That's a fuck ton of power, right? Okay, who's that? Who's that? Is that another new sprinter? The one I don't know. The one I don't know. I never heard of him, like. Okay, so Usain Bolt, he's something lah. Well, he's the world record holder until now. No one has broken his record before because I think his record was 100 meter was 9 point something. Well, that's something to break. Okay, yeah, he's built for it. Yeah, he's built for it. So in fact, most Jamaicans, they are built for it. Okay, you just look at Jamaican sprinters lah. Sometimes you look at the Olympics, they are so funny. The top 3 runners, the gold, silver, and bronze medal, it's all Jamaican. Might as well you guys run among yourself, right? You see the difference, you know lah. Like, why are you guys even here? Right? Do you know what is this like? This is like ping pong. You know, ping pong. You watch Olympic ping pong. Usually final is China against China. Okay, male category China against China, and then female category also China against China. Okay, what's with their form that we don't have? We don't have that much of fast twitch muscle. You just cannot beat them. It's genetic, right? It's like Chinese, they are very good with ping pong, right? And sometimes you see finals, you might see China versus France, and then you're like, ooh, why is there a France guy there? And then when you see the final, the one who represents France is another Chinese dude, right? You watch ping pong, you know, it's always Chinese. The finals is always them. Right? Yes, yes, that's the gene. The one you cannot fight one. The one you cannot fight. Oh, it's like if you watch judo, sports that require very broad shoulder, like judo or weightlifting, it's always the Eastern Europeans, the Bulgarians, the Russians, the Belarusians, the Ukrainian. You try and do judo with the Ukrainian, see, you will get your ass handed back to you. It's always them, right? Weightlifting, the same thing. It's either the Middle Eastern or the Eastern European. You can never win. Okay, when if let's say you are, yes, or Mongolians, yes, exactly. If you go weightlifting, if you are on Olympic weightlifting, and you see a bunch of Russians there, and you'll be like, oh shit. And you see Iranian or any Middle Eastern lah, okay, you see them there, you're like, okay, I can go home now. So there's no need for you to try. This is just genetics, right? Anyway, so who uses more power? That will be Raman. Raman uses more power. Why? Because he's doing it in a shorter time. Okay, so Raman, he used less time. Okay, masa yang lebih singkat. Okay, he's doing it faster. So the faster you are, the more power you have. So state the energy of the load. You know what? We're going to skip this. Not important. Does the load have kinetic energy when it's moved from the table to the table from the floor? Yes, they do. Okay, yes, they do. Why do they have kinetic energy? Because the load moves. Okay, beban bergerak. The load has speed. Whenever you have speed, you have Ke. As long as anything moves, you have kinetic energy, right? It's just that it's is it a lot or is it very little? Anything that's moving has kinetic energy, right? This is why last year when you learn air pressure, right? When the air particles they move around and bang into each other, this is called a kinetic theory. Remember? So anyway, number 9. So the diagram below shows two workers, P and Q, working at a construction site. Work is done simultaneously by P and Q to transfer similar cement bags from the ground to the third floor. So worker P, he's using a pulley to move this 65 kilo to third floor, whereas worker Q, wow, very admirably, he's moving this thing by himself. Wow. I mean, this is pretty stupid, but commendable. That's quite a feat. Have you guys tried carrying cement bag before? You know how heavy this shit is. Right, so give the definition of work done. Okay, work done is the product of force and displacement. Okay, product daya dan sasaran. Okay, product means you times them together. So product. Okay, next, B, if the mass of the load is 65 kg and the height to the third floor is 35 meters, calculate the work done to transfer the load. So what's the work done here? That would be 650 Newton, because 65 kilo is 650 Newton times 35 meters. So what's the answer, guys? What's the answer here? It should be quite big, like 10, 20,000-ish. I'm just estimating. What's the power here? Sorry, what's the energy here? And do they have the same energy? I want to ask this question. Are they doing the same work? Are they doing the same work? Are they doing the same amount of work? Do they feel equally tired? That's my answer. That's my question. Do they feel equally tired? If you're worker P and your worker Q, do you feel the same effort doing these things? That's a question here. Okay, no, right? No, right? But the work done, okay, what's the work done again? Anyone can give me the answer here? What's the work done here? What's the work done here? Should be oh yes, Gabriel, thank you. 22,750 joule. Right. So let me ask you something. Do these bags, these two bags, do they have the same amount of work? Do they? When I move this back here and I move this back here, do they both have 22,750? 750? Do they? They do, right? They do, right? They move the same height and they have the same mass. They should have the same energy. But you see, it doesn't make sense here. You might say, sir, how can they both have the same energy? Because P is so much easier. You would rather want to be P. Who the hell wants to be Q? You can't move cement. I mean, you can lah, but this is really tiring. So why? Because it's all about the power. Right? So do both workers do the same amount of work? Yes. Because same force and displacement. Daya dan sasaran yang sama. Same force, same displacement, same work done. Right? But calculate the power generated. So if it takes 9 minutes to transfer the load, so 9 minutes is, remember to change it to seconds first. So 9 times 6 is 540 seconds. So you take your work done, you divide by time. So that's your power. Well, Melvin, that's a good answer you have here. That's a good answer you have. Yes, it's walking further. Yes, this guy is walking further, so he should use more energy. But the bag still gains the same amount of energy. The bag is still gaining the same amount of energy because MGH is all about the height. They don't care about the diagonal distance. It's just that this person will be spending more energy. But the point is the power. It's the power. To do this, you need a lot of power, right? Because I don't think you can just carry a bag of 65 kg of whatever and you climb the stairs, assuming this is the stairs. This is quite a lot of effort, right? Because power is different. Okay, the power is different. If you get what I'm trying to say here. So, guys, the effort that you feel doing something always comes from the power. Like I said just now, Rama should feel more tired, although he's doing less work. You see, Subra is doing more work, but Raman is feeling more tired because he's using more power. Right? If you get what I'm trying to say here. All right. So anyway, next, number 10, we have the vehicles here. So there's bus, there's compact car, there's the sedan. So according to formula, 1/2 mv square, again mv square, and again mv square. Right. So according to this question here, which has the highest KE? Should be the bus. Why? Since they have the same speed, right? You cannot compare their speed. You have to compare their mass. So why is bus the heaviest? Why is the bus the highest KE? Because it has the highest mass. Jisim yang tertinggi. It has the highest mass. So C suggests 2 methods to prevent accident with heavy vehicles. Right. This question, they are testing you what are the factors that affect KE. Please don't give me silly answers. You obey traffic law. Okay, drive slower, I accept, because what affects your KE is your mass and your velocity. So how do you control your velocity? You drive slower, or you can say obey speed limit. Okay, mematuhi had kelajuan. Okay, this is about controlling the speed. What about the mass? What are the mass? So you do not exceed weight limit. Okay, say the mass limit lah. Okay, the mass limit tidak melebihi hard G-SID. So don't go heavier lah. Don't go heavier lah. If you see beside a truck, right? Next time, if you see beside a lorry, you should see these things. You should see BDM and BTM. So what is this? BTM is berat tanpa muatan. If the lorry is empty, what's the weight? Sometimes maybe you see 3,000 kgs here. And then BDM, that's the berat dengan muatan. That means what's the maximum weight they can carry? Maybe if it says 5,000, that means the maximum you can carry is 2,000. Right? Because if you carry too heavy, it might be very hard to stop the lorry if it loses control. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, most lorries in Malaysia, they couldn't give two shits. Right? Because you see, next to a lorry, you should see this sticker there. It says there maybe 90 and then Lebuh Raya 110. Do you think people obey this thing? No, they don't. Right? Sometimes you see your dad driving 120 on a highway. You can see a lorry or a bus, they just fly past you at least like 140 or 150. They couldn't give a shit. Right? Malaysia law is for decoration one. Same goes to the mass limit. Sometimes they just, because they want to save money, right? So they just stuff everything in and they just overload the truck because they don't care. Right? So for safety issue, you should obey the speed and the mass. Right, so guys, I think that's it for today. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Even though this is a very easy chapter, okay, they should be quite fresh in your memory because we just learned this like 2 months ago. Right, so next week I shall continue with chapter 9, I think. Okay, we'll see you next week lah. So thanks for coming, guys. Hope you have a wonderful Thursday. I will see you next week. Okay, so take care. Good night. See you and bye bye.